Alright, welcome back all. It's SPC Season 3, Week 8. We're going up against the Six of Hearts and the San Diego Apex. His team is Dragon Ball, King Gambit, Slitherwing, Toxapex, Tauros, Water, Armor Rouge, Quackleval, Tinglu, and Kamala. It's a pretty scary team. He also has the Terra Grass. So this is what we're bringing our Iron Valiant set with Close Combat, Zen Headbutt, and Spirit Break for decent coverage with our Dual Stab and Zen Headbutt for Toxapex, Shadow Sneak for Dragapult if terrain's not up. Because I'm pretty sure he has Indeedee. That team wasn't fully updated, I'm not sure. We're bringing Choice Banded Hydreigon just to punch holes. Decent bulky Corviknight, decent bulky Skeleturge as well, just to tank hits on the physical side. Gotta watch out for King Gambit though, because I am Terra Fairy. Brambleghast main thing is just set up spikes and be a nuisance. And then we got Shift Gear, Throat Spray, pretty basic stuff. So I have the battle pulled up here and we're just gonna go through it. I'm gonna explain my thoughts and why I did what I did. Keep in mind most of this might be hindsight 2020, so yeah. So as we see, he does bring Dragapult, Toxapex, King Gambit, Armor Rouge, Indeedee Female, and the Tinglu. So going in, I'm like, his hazard removal is non-existent, so I want to lead the Brambleghast and get up my spikes or hazards as fast as possible. I debated also leading my Hydreigon because it has Stealth Rock, but it also has U-Turn, which is pretty important for momentum purposes and all that. But I do end up leading Brambleghast, I believe, yeah. And just clicking randomly through the rest of my mons. I feel like Brambleghast has a better lead matchup. He could lead King Gambit or Dragapult, and that could be very scary. So, hindsight, I probably should have led my Hydreigon, but it is not faster than Dragapult, so that could have definitely been scary. Yeah. So, he does lead Tinglu here, which my game plan was always click spikes here, depending on who he let out. Yeah, as I do click spikes, I'm not scared of what Tinglu wants to do. It could whirlwind me, but he has negative priority if he does go for that option. So no matter what, these spikes are here to stay. And I'm pretty sure he switches out here into Dragapult. Yeah, which he does. So obviously him bringing it out like this, I'm like, is it a Dragon Dance variant? Is it Specs? Is it Choice Band? Because Dragapult is such a versatile mon. So I take a few minutes here and I think I go Corviknight. Yeah. If he is physical, Corviknight can deal with it pretty well. But based on this damage that Shadow Ball does, I find out that he is Specs. Because I do have a little bit of a SPDEF investment in my Corviknight, and this does over 50%, so I'm like, yeah, that's definitely Specs. I don't have a switch in. I'm probably going to sack. Yeah, I most likely sack the Corviknight and then go into Hydreigon to potentially revenge kill. Because, like, you see me hover over Hydreigon just to see if I'm going, but I'm like, he could double predicting Hydreigon and like go back into Tinglu or something. So I just go quick U-turn in case I live, which I don't, because that was a solid 2-hit KO. But like this is the freest Hydreigon for me. Like I just go and I could click U-turn here, but I wanted to make sure guarantee a KO if he did stay in and pressure him with my only physical dragon move that Hydreigon learns other than Dragon Tail, being Dragon Rush. Yeah, he goes out into Tinglu thinking I'm special, because Tinglu's ability drops all special attack stuff. I could have also clicked rocks here, but like I wanted to make sure to kill what was in front of me. Unfortunately, I do miss. I was doing like, depending on investment, it was doing like 40%. So I'm like, I go back and do Brambleghast because I know this thing can't really. No, I go out into Skeledirge because yeah, it can't really do anything to me other than a Whirlwind. It could Earthquake. My opponent makes a beautiful double into King Gambit. So now we're playing that 50-50. Like, does he stay in and click the Dark type move? Or does he stay in and click the super effective Steel type move? And as you see here, he has a third option going out into Armarouge. And Armarouge's ability is Flash Fire, so fire type moves won't work against it, which was great synergy from my opponent's part. And like I feel like I wasted my Terra here, like because like I was debating that 50-50 like I said earlier about whether he was gonna Kowtow Cleave or Iron Head me. So at this point I don't know what this Armarouge wants to do to me. I don't know if it's gonna Terra yet, but I have the Shadow Ball, which is super effective. He's taking Spike's chips, so if he has a potential Sash, that's broken. So I'm just clicking Shadow Ball, hit what's in front of me because like I'm already down 1-0. Like I've already lost a Pokemon and like I'm on the back foot. My opponent's outplaying me. I have to like potentially do something to bring momentum back into my favor. So if he doesn't Terra, I get a kill with my Skeledirge. If he does Terra, which you see here, there's not really any move he has that just outright OHKOs me, so I feel like I'm in a pretty good situation. So he is faster than me, but he was always going to be faster than me, and he goes for the Energy Ball. Does a little over 50%, and I'm just using this for damage. That does solid 25-30ish%. I do get the Spit Up drop, but I don't leave another Energy Ball. So I'm going out into Brambleghast right here. It's my grass resist. And like I need to preserve HP on the Hydreigon because it is a choice item. So he does go for it again, and this honestly doesn't do as much as I thought it would. So I can freely, go for another Spike, or I can click Strength Sap, which I end up going for Strength Sap, so just to get some HP back up, predicting him to switch into something, but him switching in or switching out like that tells me that he's either a choice item or he's trying to make a play. So him going out in a King Gambit here, I was like really scared. I'm like, oh no, he predicted me because one of King Gambit's abilities is Defiant. But as we see, the Defiant doesn't really pop, so I can go for another spike, and I'm faster than this, which is also something to note. Yeah, because like if I didn't get that -1 attack on him, I probably would have died to that. So me being able to live allows me to get another strength sap off. And yeah, he can switch into something, but the fact that this thing is still alive means I can potentially get another spike up. And him having no like hazard removal is really hurting him because everything's getting chipped for Hydreigon and Iron Valiant, which is what I'm playing for my end game. Yeah, so it's attack drops. I gain a little bit more HP plus Lefty's recovery, and this thing is becoming a nuisance. So like, I just got into my Skeledirge. It's the weakest member of my team right now. I want to like scope out what it wants to do to me. And if I lose my Terra, I lose my Terra. So yeah, it goes for the super effective Shadow Ball. I'm like, I live another one, so I can hopefully slack off, gain some HP back. And I think you click Psychic here or Dazzling Gleam, one of those moves. Yeah, Psychic being boosted by terrain. I didn't factor that in. I thought I would live. I don't, and that's a little unfortunate, but not too bad. Means I can easily go out into Hydreigon right here and U-turn. And just fire off a quick U-turn. Nothing wants to take this. No one wants to switch in on it. Yeah. And he does got into Tinglu, so this is gonna eat a decent amount of damage. Yeah. That's Choice Band Hydreigon for you. Just a monster. And I feel like I can easily go out into Iron Valiant, pick up a KO, and move on. Because nothing really wants to eat a Spirit Break into Zen Headbutt. Or Spirit Break into another Spirit Break, so... The Spirit Break felt really free here. He didn't really have a switch in other than Toxapex, who doesn't want to eat a Zen Headbutt. Because Zen Headbutt is also boosted by Psychic Terrain, I believe, since I'm also grounded. Yeah, but we do see him go into Toxapex here, I believe. Thinking I'm locked into Spirit Break. Because the way I brought it out screams like it's Scarf or something, because I need something faster than Dragapult. Since base 142 base speed is absurd and nutty. But my op takes some time here, but ends up going into Toxapex. It takes the Spikes chip, and I'm just going to click Zen Headbutt. I'm Expert Belt, so I'm thinking this is going to do a lot if he's not physically defensive. But he is physically defensive with Rocky Helmet. And he sets up Toxic Spikes. So right here, I don't know if he's going to sack this. So I'm just going to click Zen Headbutt again. I could also double out into my Toxtricity. But I end up clicking, I don't know, I think I clicked Zen Headbutt here again. Yeah. and I get poisoned due to Baneful Bunker, but it's not that big of a deal because I'm just going to switch out into Bramblegast here, I think, because like I don't want Indeedee coming in on my Toxtricity. I end up going Hydreigon, my bad, because like yeah, there's nothing this thing wants to do to me. Hydreigon outspeeds the Indeedee since it does appear to be max speed or have some speed investment. And like I can Earthquake, I can do other options. So he doubles out in Kingambit. I'm not too concerned with it. He takes spikes damage. I'm just gonna Earthquake. I don't know what he's expecting here, but I just Earthquake. It is my strongest move against this thing, and it does pick up the KO. So I'm slowly clawing my way back into this, thanks to Hydreigon, because Choice Band has no switch-ins whatsoever. So here I'm thinking he's going into Dragapult, right, to revenge me. Now, him bringing this out tells me that he has Dazzling Gleam, and currently the Pokemon I need the least is Bramblegast in this situation, because Toxtricity can win me the game after a Shift Gear, so I want to keep that as healthy as possible. And he still has Scarf Armarouge in the back, so that's very scary. Yeah, he goes for that, which is unfortunate. He does reveal he has Dazzling Gleam, which I was predicting him to go for. So here I know I'm not faster, so I don't know if I want to spin these hazards away or... So I go to spin, because at +1 I can outspeed and get up another layer of spikes, because right now I'm at 2 layers of spikes. But yeah, he is way faster than me and picks up the KO. But this gives me the freest U-turn with Hydreigon. Because like I said, I don't want to switch in on a Psychic or anything, and that could hurt. So I go for this, and Toxtricity being a poison type can remove these toxic spikes, and Hydreigon has Levitate, so it's not really affected by it. Yeah, and Choice Band U-turn knocks it out, and I'm feeling very comfortable. I feel very good now that I've clawed my way back. And I think I could go my Iron Valiant, but with terrain still up, I don't want him risking going out into Dragapult or anything, because his Indeedee was Terrain Extender, which increased the amount of turns that Psychic Terrain lasts, because it should have passed by now, but it's fine. So here, I know he's Scarf. I live any one hit thanks to my EV spread. So I'm just going to click Boom Burst because I want to guarantee my kill, because I don't know if I outspeed Scarf Armarouge at +2, and I didn't want to risk it as we live on 2 HP because I'm a god gamer. So that's down. I don't know why he went for Armor Cannon. If he had a Psychic move, maybe he would have gone for it, knocked me out. Because like he doesn't have anything for Dragapult. I mean, not Dragapult, but Hydreigon now. So he goes out into Dragapult, gets Chip. We know it's Specs, so it can't be Boots. My Toxtricity has outlived its usefulness, and that is fine. So the way I'm playing my last 2 months, he doesn't know which one is Scarf. Spoiler alert, neither of them are Scarf because Hydreigon has the Choice Band and my Iron Valiant has the Expert Belt. So I'm faking a scarf on both of those Pokemon. So and I know he's back, so he's locked into Shadow Ball, so I can freely go out into this thing and fire off an Earthquake. He has Toxapex in the back. Earthquake does a lot to Dragon Ball, and he doesn't want to Shadow Ball me. So he doesn't want to be locked into Shadow Ball versus me, but since I have Iron Valiant in the back, who's a Fairy type, he can't really click Dragon type moves against Hydreigon. So I'm using that to my advantage. I think he makes a double out into Toxapex. That makes the most sense because he doesn't want to be locked into the Shadow Ball versus me. So like obviously I could have doubled, but since I have Earthquake, I'm obviously clicking Earthquake and just destroying this Pokemon. Spikes was like definitely huge for me, him not having any like hazard removal. And like he tried to go for Toxic Spikes, but since I have Toxtricity, it's like it didn't really work out in his favor, which is unfortunate. But from here, there is no one move he can lock himself into that beats the remainder of my last two Pokemon, because I have Shadow Sneak on Iron Valiant. And since Iron Valiant is also a Fairy type, he can't really click Dragon type moves. So him living this Earthquake was crazy, but like didn't really matter too much. And like there's nothing he can do to kill me. Even he gets like a Mega Crit, terrain ends, and I can Shadow Sneak. Yeah, that's like a 3-hit KO. He does get the Spadef draw, but it's over at this point. And we pull out with the W at 2-0. We pull out a 2-0 W. Moving our record to now 7-1. And yeah, that's all, folks. Go check out my opponent. His links will be in the description below. And we'll see you here for next week, for week 9, I believe.